The views and opinions expressed by the speaker, host, commentator, or other third party in Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass are those of the speaker, host, commentator, or third party and do not necessarily reflect and represent the views and opinions of Ariva. Furthermore, Ariva does not warrant, express, or imply the merchantability and fitness for a particular purpose of any product information, service, or process presented by the speaker, host, commentator, or third party, and Ariva specifically disclaims any legal liability or responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or usefulness of any product information, service, or process presented. Finally, material or information presentation, opinion, process, or service by on any trade name, trademark, manufacturer, or otherwise during Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass do not constitute or imply Ariva's endorsement or recommendation of such opinion, process, service, item, or organization.
And we are live. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our Zoom participants and good morning to our YouTube, FB, and LinkedIn viewers. It's another day, so welcome to another free virtual business mentoring, of course, brought to you by Ariva Academy. This is the third part of our business rescue project, Opportunity to Reinvent. So the part 3 is pivot in business, opportunity to reinvent your business case studies, business models, diversification, and new normal. Again, this is Irish Malonda Samson at your service. So let us know if you're ready. Please type in Ariva in the chat box now. Good morning, everyone. Okay, let's check. Type in Ariva in the chat box now. Let us know where you're watching right now. Jovialise Young, good morning. Thank you, Lige Dakanay. Good morning, Miss Chona. Good morning po. Welcome to Ariva webinar. Okay, Venerable Daluso. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rowena. And Pasita Guinness. Good morning from Muntinlupa. She's watching from Muntinlupa. Okay, so let's start. In order for us to have a smooth flow of our e-learning session, here are the following house rules. Who are the first-time viewers of our webinar? Please type in hi in the chat box now. If this is your second time, actually this is the part 3 of our session, virtual business mentoring. So I know some of you are already an avid viewer of Ariva Academy webinars. Please type in hello if this is your second time, third time, and time of watching Ariva webinars. Okay. Hello, Venerable. Okay, this is the second time, I think. Miss Pasita, good morning as well. Okay, let's do an audio check. Hi, Miss Jamie. Let's do an audio check. Please type in 111 to show if you can hear me loud and clear and I am audible. Thank you. Thank you so much. So far, 111. So please type in 222 if no sound at all. 2121 means the sound is breaking up. And question mark if you don't understand anything. 111, thank you so much to our participants. Moving on. We will be having a quick break later after the presentation of our speaker and before we move on to our Q&A portion. For the Q&A guidelines, participants' microphones will be temporarily disabled by the administrator during discussion to avoid interruptions. For questions and clarifications during the provided time after each topic, please click the raise hand button. Again, please click the raise hand button for the administrator to enable the microphone for live question. Hi to Jose Vicente Ventosa. Good morning. Questions will be entertained after each topic of the session. Type in your questions at the Q&A box. Again, at the Q&A box, not in the chat box. One question at a time will be entertained. For comments and feedback, please scan this QR code. This will be directed to our feedback form. Please send us your comments, suggestions, suggested topics to discuss in order for us to have a smooth flow of our e-learning session. And now, I will be again introducing our speaker. He is born in India, completed his college and traveled to Australia to finish his IT degree. As a 20-year-old, Vishnu began his career in door-to-door selling and started his first business at the age of 22 in Canberra, Australia. As a young and ambitious business owner, he expanded his business to Malaysia and then to the Philippines. Currently, Vishnu, as a senior partner, works with 25 business owners in his organization with 500 plus sales force, and this year, he is expanding his business to India. Everyone is all now welcome Mr. Vishnu Annapareddy. Good morning, Sir Vish.
Hi, good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Miss Irish. How are you?
I'm good. How about you, Sir Vishnu?
I'm really good, thank you.
How is Malaysia right now?
Malaysia is good. When you compare it with Philippines, much better in terms of the cases. Very downward trend. So 20 to 25 cases per day. And I hope Philippines in very soon would get to that stage.
Hopefully, Sir Vishnu.
Yeah. So I will start. Okay, so
yes,
hang on.
Please I'm gonna share screen.
I'm going to share screen. Okay, so first of all, good morning to all the participants. Thank you so much for your continuous love to Ariva Academy, constantly joining the training sessions, the free seminars, and also the master classes. And I also appreciate you taking some time to come on to our session today, which is about reinventing your business. This is the part 3 of the 3-part series that we put together, I think in the beginning of August, first week of August, and we want to reinvent ourselves. That was the first one. Then the second part, we spoke about reinventing your people who work with you day in, day out. And today we want to take that to one level up, which is reinventing your business. I just want to know in the comment section from the participants, no matter where you're watching it from or what platform you're using to watch, I just want to know how many of you run your own business. Small, medium, big, doesn't matter. If you run your own business, just type in yes. We just want to see how many of you are business owners.
Okay, everyone, type in your answers in the chat box now. And for those of you who are watching in our YouTube and FB Live, please type your answers in the comment box. Okay. Jose Vicente and Heleniza and Mr. Jerry Tan says yes.
Okay, great. I think so. We have few business owners, yeah. Okay, nice. How many of you run not necessarily a business, but are running and managing a department in your company, in the company that you're working with? How many of you are running or managing a department, like a department head?
Managers.
Yes, managers, okay. Yes. Okay.
Ms. Annabelle is running a tech box school. Venerable Dalusong, yes. Me. Annabelle too, yes. Lynn and Gina, yes.
Okay. Quality control manager. Okay, great. So again, whether you're a manager, you're a business owner, I think the pressures are pretty much the same, because at the end of the day, the responsibility lies on your shoulders, right? So I hope today's talk would bring in some insights for you, how to reinvent your business post this pandemic. I know that Philippines is coming out of this MECQ into GCQ as of tomorrow. So that's good news. And I hope also the cases will come down. So please make sure you do your part, wear the mask, practice the social distancing, use the hand sanitizer. That's really important, and be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Okay. Sir Vish, today is the first day of the GCQ.
Let's see from here upwards, moving forward. Okay. I wanted to start today with an interesting quote that I have read in one of the articles published in Harvard Business Review. And it said, today's economy is a real life laboratory. And when I read this, it is so true, because everything we are trying to do is like a test. And by the time we come up with the results, the situations change around us. The circumstances are changing. So for example, we were in ECQ, and then we went into GCQ. And then as we were trying to figure out how to work in GCQ, boom, 2 weeks back into MECQ. And now we are coming out of that into GCQ. It is true, today's economy is a real life laboratory. And this is not just for Philippines. This is for the whole world, because COVID-19 is not one country's problem. It's a global pandemic, right? Everyone, every country in its own way is dealing. Some countries are saying that they found the vaccine. Some countries are still conducting the trials, while some countries are waiting for countries to do the trials so that they can buy the vaccine. Different countries, different circumstances. And the one common thing out of all this is it has an impact on the economy. And everyone is trying to test how do you work in this economy. And hopefully today's talk will give you some ideas. And the way I want this talk to be for all the participants, right? The way I want you to look at today's topic is not focusing on the points that I'm saying, because the points are very simple, very straightforward. I want you to focus next 1.5 hours on how do I use this point in my business? How do I connect this point to my department, to my company, the people I'm managing with? That's more important. As I'm talking, I'll be having lots of questions. And as the participants are answering, as you are answering, I really want you to see, how do I use this idea in my business, in this current circumstances, and then do something about it. There's no point of just taking notes. Today's session would be a lot of practical things that we want to go through. And I want to switch on that side of you connecting the ideas to the situation that your company is going through, and how can you help your company, your own business, to come out of this in a very, very successful way and reinvent your business as you're moving forward for the rest of the 2020. Okay, so that's the context I want to set for everyone. The learning objects are pretty simple today. We want to talk about bus, people, seats. This is my favorite. This is really, really important for me. And it's very timely to talk about this. We also want to talk about 5 action points for business owners. Not 5 points to think, but action points, specifically action points. What businesses need, what managers need to do at this time is to take action, not just keep thinking of how do we come out of this. And as we are going through these 5 action points, each one of them will have 1 to 2 case studies. I just want to go through how similar businesses, how other companies are overcoming this pandemic, and how they have successfully already reinvented themselves, and what can we learn from those businesses. And then we'll invest some time on Q&A, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so this is a concept that I picked up a number of years ago. I think 3 to 4 years ago, I picked up from a book called Good to Great by Jim Collins. The bus represents your company, your business, your department that you're managing, the right people, and the right seats. There are 3 questions that we should all ask today as managers or as business owners if you want to reinvent your business. You need to ask these 3 questions. You might have answers, you might not have answers, but the most important thing is you need to ask these 3 questions as you're planning to reinvent your business, as you're planning to bulletproof your business for any future pandemic if it happens in future, right? So these are the 3 questions which relates to the bus, relates to the right people, relates to the right seats. Before that, there is a famous saying, business is always about people. Maybe it's true unless it has wrong people in it. Business is not about people, but business is about having the right people. The question is, do you have the right people in your business as you're planning to reinvent your business? So let's go through those questions. Yeah? So business is just not about people. Business is about having the right people in your business. The first question is, do you have the right people in your business? Most of the time, people ask me back, Vish, how do you define the right people? So let me ask our participants who are managers, who are running their own businesses, managing companies, managing people, how do you determine you have the right people? So put it up in the comment section, and Miss Irish, you can go through those comments. How do you define right people?
Okay, to our participants, please type in your answers in the chat box now. How do you define the right people?
Okay, right attitude.
Any other answers from our participants? People with competence and character from Ms. Gina. I'm sorry, from Ms. Jane. And from Ms. Gina, it's productive, results-oriented, vulnerable, having right skills and knowledge. Ms. Annabelle, have right competencies. From Ms. Karen Meneses, positive mindset. Jose Vicente, right education, experience, and mindset. Okay, from Ms. Josephine, right people have the effectiveness and efficiency on his work. Ms. Mariana, they have the right skills needed for the business.
Excellent. And I agree with all of this. So just to summarize it, what you have written, right attitude, competency, character has been mentioned a couple of times, productive, knowledgeable, positive mindset, great, have the right education, experience, and the mindset, effectiveness, efficiency for the business, and can produce results. Absolutely. All of them are right. The way I think about right people are most of the time, right people are the people with character attributes, not necessarily just the skills. They have the right character attributes. Character attributes like dedication, dedication to fulfill the work. They have the right character. They have the right values. They have similar beliefs like the company. And most importantly, they have great work ethic. Now, the question is, do you have the right people? Because it's really hard to reinvent your business when you don't have the right people. If you're the manager and only you want to reinvent the business, while you go to your team and they're like rolling their eyes, or they say yes, yes, yes in front of you and go to the bar and then they're like, I don't agree with anything, then it's really hard to reinvent your business. The question is, do you have the right people who believe in the mission the company has, in the vision the company has, the manager has? Do you have the right people with the right values, with the right work ethic, with the right dedication and determination to finish the commitments that they have promised to the company, to you as a manager? So do you have the right people? As I'm saying this, I want you to start thinking, do I have the right people? And if you have the right people, start writing down their names. Don't just write down this question, do you have the right people? Start asking this question, start answering this question as we are speaking. Do I have the right people? Yes. Who are the right people? Karen. Who are the right people? Joanne. Who are the right people? Catherine. Start writing down those names. And if you don't have the right people, ask yourself, why don't I have the right people? Why does my business have the right people? This is a really important question. And this is the first question that all the managers, all the business owners need to ask if they want to reinvent their business. The second question, are they in the right seats? I have the right people doing the wrong job. Then it's a problem. Are they in the right seats? Are they in the right position? Are you putting your right people in the right position so that they can succeed, and their success eventually impacts the business success? So do you have the right people? The next question is, are the right people sitting in the right seats? And as I'm talking, I want you to, the names that you have written down, what seats are they in? Do they enjoy those positions? When was the last time I had a conversation regarding this with them? And when is the time that I'm going to have this conversation? Because it's really important. The reason why this question is important is I have seen people extremely smart, really dedicated. They just don't like what they are doing. They don't mind cross-department. They don't mind an opportunity in another department or taking up a new position if it's available. But they're stuck in this position for last so many years that they feel sometimes they are burnt out. It's repetitive. It's the same thing, same thing. They have been effective, but it's not their passion anymore. So you need to ask this question: are your right people in the right seats? And this is a really important question. And the only way you will know this is by actually asking your right people, hey, how is work now? How is the passion towards what you're doing? These are tough questions, but important questions at this stage. Are they in the right seats? Are your people in the right seats? It's very, very critical. The third one, are the wrong people, OFF, off the bus? And this is tough. This is the toughest part of this three-part questions to reinvent your business. Are the wrong people off the bus? OFF, off the bus. Because there's no point of having ducks and eagles together and trying to make it work. Cannot. Ducks cannot fly, no matter how much you try. Sometimes you have to let people go. One of my biggest challenge, I take so much pride in hiring great people, but I'm terrible in letting wrong people go. Oh, let's give one more chance. Let's give one more chance. I think they will improve in future. Let's give one more chance. And chance after chance after chance. And disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. Burn the money, burn everything. And I'm not saying pandemic should be an excuse to let wrong people off the bus, but that's critical, right? You're trying to reinvent the business, you're trying to minimize your losses, and then you're trying to still continue working with wrong people. It's time to let wrong people off the bus, but follow all the procedures according to the law. Whatever you need to pay them for the years of service, etc., etc. But in a very polite way, you need to let the wrong people off the bus. Because the reinvention cannot happen if the right people and wrong people exist on the same bus. And third one is tough. First one is fairly easy. Who are my right people? Boom, 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 boom. Second one is fairly easy. What are the right seats? Are the right people in the right seats? Fair enough, no problem. Now the question is, do you still have wrong people on the bus? Yes. Who are the wrong people? 1, 2, 3. Why are they not off the bus? Why? Is it our inability to tell them the truth? And these are the questions we need to ask, because you're trying to reinvent. You're not only trying to just survive. No one wants just to survive after this pandemic. People want to survive. People want to thrive. And people want to scale their businesses. And if you want to do that, whether we like it or not, the wrong people should be off the bus in the most polite way, and you got to do everything as per law. But the wrong people should be off the bus. If you are planning to reinvent your department, reinvent your business. So now, these are from this book called Good to Great. This is my favorite, if you can see it. But you can see it there. It's very hard to get the red on the background. But this is my favorite book. Every manager, every business owner, I strongly suggest to read this book at least once. It's very boring. Let me be honest. It's very, very, very boring. There are so many case studies. And if you're not someone who's like, Vish, I don't like to read case studies. It's a thick book. It is, I don't know, it's 300 pages book. But what's the best part of this book is at the end of every chapter, they summarize the key points. And even if as a manager, as a business owner, if you can just read the key points at the end of every chapter, that's enough. Because you want your business to be reinvented. You are focusing on making your business from good to great. And if you're focusing on reinventing your business, I strongly suggest you to go through this book. Those are the 3 points I have picked up from this book. Okay, great. So hope that sets the tone for us trying to reinvent our business, yeah? Because reinventing ourselves is fairly easy because it's just us. Reinventing our people is not that easy, but at least it's achievable, right? Because it's you and your team. But reinventing your business is not about just you. It's not about just your people, but the processes, the systems, the industry, the market, the economy, the leadership. There are multiple factors. And some of those factors can be outside out of your control. That's why it's a bit complicated, but still it is achievable. So here's what the 5 things, action steps that I want all the managers, all the business owners to think about. The first one is to identify the core business competencies of your company. I want you to look at, what are my business competencies? What is my business really good at? And you got to peel the onion. Externally, it looks like we are good at this, but as you peel the onion, what else are your business competencies? And I'm going to share a couple of examples which will help us to understand, probably help you to relate to your business competencies. Who can guess what's the name of this company? Let me go in the comments. What's the name of this company which can deliver food, which can do the transportation, where you can go and do groceries, delivery, pay, airtime, hotels, rewards? Yes, Grab. Great, Grab. Such an interesting organization, such an interesting company. A lot of us knew Grab originally as a transport company, which gets a person from A to B, and people can become a driver and use their own car or use someone's car to become a driver to go ahead and pick up the passengers. That's what most of the people thought. But here's the interesting thing about Grab. Grab then transformed and reinvented themselves also as a delivery company where they can deliver food. On-demand delivery of food, items like documents, packages to the destination that you put in. And then they developed into hotels and they developed into grocery mart. And they have transformed their business at a rapid pace. And they have reinvented themselves multiple times, especially during this pandemic time. Because when there was lockdown, different names in different countries during this pandemic time, what Grab has seen is most of their drivers were getting less orders for people to book Grab because people are not allowed to travel, right? That means no one was booking Grab. In Malaysia, within a month, I think within 2 weeks, they have moved 18,000 Grab drivers from Grab transport to on-demand delivery. They had to do the transition very fast, and they used technology to train their drivers. They used technology to educate their drivers and move them from being a person who goes out there and transfers a person from one place to other place. That can be on-demand food in some cases, or that can be on-demand delivery driver. And they just don't want to be in this space of delivering people only. They reinvented their business in delivering groceries. They reinvented their business into hotels where they have formed partnerships. So how can your business reinvent in the industry that you're in and also in the industries that you might be related to? That's not for me to answer. That's for you to think, because you're the one in the industry. People always ask me, right, Vish, I'm in travel industry. What can my business be related to? I don't know, because I'm not in travel industry. You know. What are the associated industries to your travel industry? You know that. Now the question is, are you going to take any action on that? And Grab is so smart. Now the drivers delivering food or delivering documents, within a short period of time, in a span of 2 weeks, they organized online training to follow all the government protocols, SOPs, temperature checks, scanning, how do you do contactless delivery, within a span of 2 weeks. They reinvented their business model and went from delivering people to their destinations to delivering documents and food and things like that, and training all those existing drivers that they have onto following the government SOPs at a record speed. And I think it's the same in Philippines. Grab is offering all this. And the best part is they just did not limit this to one country. They have tested it very fast and they brought it down this model to the countries everywhere they're operating in Southeast Asia. So the question is, do you know, or can we use this opportunity to identify what are your core business competencies? And is your business taking advantage of every business competency, or is taking advantage of one or two competencies? So think about it. And this is the time to start writing down what is your business really, really good at? And are you using each of those business competencies to generate revenue for the business? So for fun, quickly, can you share one or two your core business competencies for your company that you're managing or the company that you're running? Put it in the comment section. Just want to see what are some of your core business competencies.
Okay, please share with us your core business competencies. With us, Sir Vishnu, we're into learnings, of course, into face-to-face learnings, conventions, conferences, organizing, marketing. That's it.
Excellent.
But of course, because of this pandemic, mass gatherings are strictly prohibited.
Great. That's the challenge. And you have looked at your business competencies and you changed the platform, right? So
yes,
from being
indeed.
offline to online.
We have to move fast. We have to think fast. In 2 weeks, we have came up and pivoted into webinars.
Excellent.
Okay, we have answer from Miss Claudine. Provides work-related benefits.
Okay.
Venerable, the lusong quality testing of construction materials.
Great.
Any other more answers?
So the question for everyone is, thank you for the participation, right? The question for everyone is, sorry, Annabelle says blended training for cooperatives. Great. Are there any more core business competencies that your company has and you have not identified? That's for you to think, and that's for you to go back to your senior management and discuss. And if you have identified already the core business competencies, have they become a channel that brings in revenue for your business? So identifying is step one. Second one is, how do we make them as a channel of revenue for the company? So something for you all to think about. And Grab has done fantastic. I thought Grab would really struggle when this lockdown was happening, 1 month, 2 months. And I'm like, how would drivers get, all the Grab drivers only get paid on performance, right? If they take a ride, they make money. And there were no rides. No one was booking because the government don't want people to travel. And then they immediately put their training of their drivers onto multiple aspects, which was part of their business model already. And that helped them to reinvent and help them to sustain the people they were working with. Airasia is another classic example. A lot of people only think about Airasia as an airline company. That's it. But Airasia has so many businesses under their umbrella that it's crazy. Airasia is definitely into hotels. I'm sure some of you know that. Tune Hotels. Airasia is into insurance. They provide so many types of insurance. They provide travel insurance. They provide motor insurance. They provide personal accident insurance. They provide dental insurance. They provide sports-related injuries insurance. They provide Guard Easy insurance, which is for theft and stuff. They provide Easy Care insurance for disabled people, personal accident for disabled people. I did not know Airasia. I thought Airasia only provides insurance for your lost luggage or for you, your health if you're going overseas and stuff. That's pretty big. And something Airasia quietly launched recently is something called Our Shop. So people can list their products on Airasia website, like how you do it with Shopee. You can list your products on Airasia website. It's called Our Shop. So you open up an account, and whatever products that you're selling, face masks, cookies, under what category it falls under, and then you put it up. Airasia also has a telecom/Wi-Fi company business where you can buy Wi-Fi from Airasia on board or off-boarding. And also, they have they are a mobile provider in Malaysia where you can buy SIM cards from Airasia. They call them as Tune SIM cards. So fascinating. And 6 months ago, or I think 8 months ago, Airasia has opened up restaurants. How many of you know this? If you know this, put it up in the chat. What's the name of Airasia restaurant? Miss Irish, did you know Airasia started restaurants?
No, of course not. Really?
In Malaysia, they have 2 restaurants in biggest malls. Yeah, one of the biggest malls is called Mid Valley. They open up in Kuala Lumpur, massive restaurant. And then they open up a restaurant in a city called Johor Bahru, very close to Singapore, to attract the Singaporeans and stuff. Anyone? Correct. Karen,
Santan.
you're correct. Santan, correct. And it's pretty big. You know, whatever you get on the flight, if you travel Airasia, whatever you get on the flight, you get the same thing in the restaurant. I don't know why people would eat aeroplane food in a restaurant, but they're quite famous. They're constantly reinventing their business. So think about from your perspective. Because when you're traveling, you need insurance. When you're traveling, you need insurance for your gadgets and stuff. You need a hotel to stay. So those are the related industries Airasia has ventured into. And they're a big enough company, so they ventured with their own businesses. And some of you might not have enough capital to start a new business in the related industry, but you can collaborate, which we'll speak in a while. And the recent 2 things, which I was very surprised, is Airasia has also moved into banking and finance. Airasia has Airasia credit cards, and Airasia has started their own Big Pay with MasterCard. Big Pay is their e-wallet. Miss Irish, do you have Big Pay? Have you heard of Big Pay in Philippines?
No, not yet.
Yeah. So Big Pay is an e-wallet, very similar to GCash or PayMaya, very similar to that. But the unique thing about Big Pay is they also send you a physical card. It looks like what's on the screen, right? And this physical card, what you can do then is you can use it for normal, like a debit card transaction. It connects to your bank account, it connects to your credit card. But the biggest thing of Big Pay e-wallet, which I have experienced, is their conversion rate, especially when you're traveling overseas, is really, really, really good compared to any local banks in that country or local bank back in your country. The conversion rates are very, very decent. It's free. It connects to your credit card, it connects to your debit card, it connects to your bank account. You top up how much you want when you're traveling. You can use it for local, you can use it for overseas. But I was surprised that Airasia is actually also into banking and finance. I didn't know this until 4 or 5 months ago. And companies are reinventing themselves. They are not just based on one core competency. Airasia's one core competency is flying, cheaper flights, making flying accessible for everyone. And then as they started building that business, they built all the businesses that are related to aviation industry, travel industry. So yes, they're suffering huge losses now, but I don't know whether they're suffering huge losses on insurance, our shop, hotels, to some extent, yes. But on banking and finance, I'm not sure. So maybe that's one of their strategies. But these are the things that we want to look at case studies. Yes, they're big companies, but what can you do with your business? But in identifying the business core competencies and using them as a revenue channel for you guys. Okay, so that's the first point, action point, yeah? Identifying your business competencies, core business competencies, and what can I do to convert each core business competency into a revenue generation model. The second one, challenge your strengths. And it's really important to challenge your strength, because in cases like Airasia, the biggest strength, which is their airlines, that business, airlines business, has also become their weakest link because of this pandemic. And I want you to challenge the strengths of your business. What are you really good at doing? What are you really, really, really good at doing? And has that stopped you from pivoting? Has that made the business a bit complacent? Because you're really good at doing this, you're really good at doing excellent at one thing, and has that become your Achilles heel, especially during this pandemic time? I'll give you an example. SalesWorks Group Asia. I'm a board of director. I'm executive board of director for SalesWorks Group Asia. I've been with them for years. They are Asia's premier subscription activation agency. And this is their website, right? They're experts in face-to-face marketing. They deliver high quality, high volume customers to their clients. Their clients are well-known: Grab, Uber, UNICEF, big organizations. And they have been in business for 25 years. As we speak today, they are in 9 markets, I think 10 markets now. With India, they are in 10 markets. Their biggest strength is face-to-face marketing. And that has become their Achilles heel when this pandemic hit. Because we can't go to the field, we can't do face-to-face sales, we can't do events, we can't do B2B. To some extent, like Ariva. Excellent in organizing. Every time I visited Ariva's seminars, if it was a smaller scale, small would be like 200 people minimum. And I have seen thousands and thousands of people when they do their summits and conferences. Same. Excellent. Great clients, great results, repeat clients every single year. But when pandemic hit SalesWorks, it made them think sales is a core competency of SalesWorks. But why did SalesWorks limit themselves to face-to-face sales and marketing? Because they were very good at it. That's their strength. And that also has become their limitation. So what did SalesWorks do in last 3 months? Instead of just waiting and hoping for things to change, they have taken the route Ariva has taken. Ariva has pivoted They quickly made those changes into bringing the training into online platforms, e-training. And what SalesWorks has quickly reinvented their business model, and they went into telemarketing sales. Today, 25% of the markets they are still not open in are from revenue comes from telemarketing. In India, where they are opening up for the first time with telemarketing, not face-to-face marketing. They are reinventing their business. And definitely there are opportunities for us to do digital sales also. That's the second step. So the question for you guys is, are your strengths also have become your limitations because of the current pandemic? And as I'm speaking, I want you to think about what are your business strengths and how is it limiting you to move forward, to scale forward, to thrive forward, especially during this pandemic period. Something for you guys to think about. So that's a very interesting case study just I put together for you guys with SalesWorks Asia. Third one is experiment and adapt fast. Got to experiment. Because if you don't experiment and if you don't adapt fast, you're going to be left behind. This is what companies who are transformative, who have this leaders who have this transformative mindset are always experimenting. They experiment fast, they learn from those experiments, they learn from those experiences, and they adapt very quickly. I'll give you an example. In the businesses and the people and the business owners I consult with, we do a lot of recruitment. We do a lot of recruitment for sales and marketing executives. And when this pandemic hit, we could not physically meet them because generally face-to-face, generally sales and marketing interviews happen in the office, right? So they apply, we call, book, show up. Because we're recruiting salespeople, we want to see them, we want to see their attitude, we want to listen to their communication skills and stuff. And that could not happen because there were movement restrictions, right? So we quickly experimented doing our interviews on WhatsApp. Because at that time, in March, like fourth week of March, people were not so familiar with Zoom. Half the people we spoke on the phone, they knew about Zoom, and half the people did not know about Zoom. So we were doing interviews using WhatsApp, but the problem was the connection was not stable with WhatsApp. The quality was poor with WhatsApp. Then we realized we need to get people on Zoom because we started reading other countries are already adapting to Zoom and it works. So then what we started doing is we started asking the candidates over the phone, do you know a platform called Zoom? And every second candidate said, sorry, I have not heard of Zoom. Then we said, don't worry, we'll send you an email regarding your first interview details. And along with the details, we will also send you the instructions to download the app and how to use the app. So we started sending emails. So Vishnu, this is your appointment schedule for your interview. Now, this is the link to download the Zoom app, Android, iOS. And this is a quick 2 minutes YouTube video, how to use Zoom on your phone or on your tab. And that worked. And today, 100% of our interviews online are through Zoom. 100% of our training online is through Zoom. You got to experiment. And whatever works, you got to adapt very fast. You have to be quick in adapting. What I see is a lot of people, what I see currently is a lot of people are talking. They get together on a call, oh, we should do this. And someone will have an idea, we should do that. And someone else will have an idea. Someone else will correct that idea. Someone else will tell the pros and cons of this idea. And there's a lot of discussion, but very little action. People are waiting for the right time to test. When we're in crisis like this, there is no right time. Right time is when you think it's right. People are like, oh, Vish, when 80% of our candidates know about Zoom, then we will start doing on Zoom. Until then, we'll do on WhatsApp. Wrong. They don't know about Zoom. We know Zoom works. Let's educate them on Zoom. And we experimented that, send the links. And now we don't need to send any links about Zoom because every candidate knows about Zoom. Everyone knows Zoom. Everyone already has downloaded their app. Everyone knows how to use it. We don't need to educate. But you got to move fast. You got to adapt quickly. I have a question. So this question is for everyone, right? When you see this bottle, tell me, what is this bottle about? So I'll give you a couple of clues, right? It has alcohol beverage in it. So tell me, what is the alcohol beverage this bottle has in it? Beer? Yes, you are correct. This is a very famous chain of restaurants in Malaysia. It's called Uncle Don. Uncle Don's. Great food, great drinks. So during this pandemic period, a lot of people cannot go to the restaurant and then to a pub like this, right? Uncle Don is more like a pub with great food and drinks. So what they have done is their business mainly comes from beer, and you can buy beer in their own customized bottles. Then I asked my friend, why should we buy beer from Uncle Don? I can buy beer in a can. I can buy beer in a bottle from a 7-Eleven, from a supermarket. Why should I buy beer from this restaurant, this pub? And the answer made me like, wow, these guys are super creative. These guys are experimenting. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of beer lovers on this call. If any beer lover is asked, would you like to have a bottle or a can beer, or would you like to have a draft beer? 9 out of 10 beer lovers would say, I would love to have a draft beer. So what this pub has done successfully is they have bottled a draft beer right before the delivery, and they put it in this cold storage things, and you can pick it up. So my delivery, so I'm coming to pick up at 3 p.m. We have a house party, and we ordered, I think, like 30 bottles. And I think just 2 o'clock, they start using the draft to fill the bottles. There are ice cubes inside. They put it inside, and then we come and pick it up. Or we use Lala Move to pick it up, whichever the scenario is. And I thought that was really smart. And I asked the owner of the business, how is it working? And he said the first mistake they made was when they got the order, they started using the draft and filling it up. But sometimes it takes an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours for people to come and pick it up. So they have done that experiment, and immediately what they have changed, adapted, is right before the pickup, 30 minutes or 45 minutes before the pickup, depends on how many bottles they're shipping out. They start putting the draft beer, and they put it up in this white boxes with ice in it. And we enjoyed it. It was really, really nice. We had guys coming over, and it was really, really nice. And I thought that was a great example of experimenting and adapting to the current circumstances. And I have not seen this in many, many pubs that are going out and doing this. Like, I have not seen any pub doing it, because I would love to have a draft beer, right, fresh from tap. So you got to experiment. What is it that in your business you can experiment tomorrow? You can experiment next week. What is it? And what can you, and if the experiment works or doesn't work, that's fine. But there are some lessons that you can pick up, adapt, and go for the next one. And I want you guys to think about what are the experiments your business can do. And this is very famous in Philippines. I don't need to talk to you guys about this. Angkas, they're experimenting this, right? The back, and that's the protection between the passenger and the rider. Miss Irish, is it already in place? Is it already being used on by the drivers already?
Limited only, Sir Vishnu, for those married only.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
But not for I think if I'm not mistaken, not for angkas, because up until now they're not allowed to have a business.
Gotcha. Understand. But at least like the company is coming up with solutions so that they can get the approval from the government, right? So what is it that you're trying to think in terms of solutions? What is it that you're trying to experiment? Again, it might work, it might not work. What matters is you're giving it a try and you're picking up lessons from it. You're adapting. And this is very critical. The fourth one, and this is my favorite one, is looking for opportunities to collaborate. This is the time to collaborate with other businesses that are in your industry or related to your industry. You have to collaborate. Now is the time to collaborate. Now is the time to pick up the phone and call. And you'll be very surprised. Now everyone answers your phone because everyone is looking for more opportunities. It's really important. And it's a classic example to this. Everyone knows General Motors, everyone knows Ford. They have switched into making ventilators. They're not making any cars since April this year. They're not making cars. They're making ventilators. And not only GM, not only Ford, everyone knows SpaceX, Tesla, everyone knows Virgin Orbit, which is the flying into the space by Richard Branson. I'm sure all of you know Dyson, you know the Dyson vacuum cleaners, the Dyson fans with no blades. All of them are making ventilators now. So GM and Ford have collaborated with a company called as Ventec Critical Care. That's the name of the company. Ventec Life Systems. So GM and Ford collaborated with Ventec Life Systems to mass produce ventilators. And the ventilators produced by GM and Ford with Ventec are called as VOCSN, Critical Care Ventilators. Who would have thought some of the oldest, biggest car manufacturers like GM, Ford, rocket manufacturers like SpaceX, electric car manufacturers like Tesla will make ventilators. And they're doing a fantastic job. And ventilators are not cure, but at least it buys time for the COVID patients. So companies are collaborating within their industry, outside their industry. How are you and your businesses collaborating? And that's for you to discuss, that's for you to experiment, that's for you to see whether is it part of your core competency and start working on that. That is the way to reinvent the business that you're in. Fifth one, my favorite one. If you want to reinvent your business, you got to learn, you got to upgrade. And I salute everyone who's taking their time in this, participating in sessions to upskill themselves, participating in sessions that's going to help them to think beyond what their current environment allows them to think. And credit goes to Ariva Academy. A lot of credit goes to them. They have now successfully moved into online training sessions, webinars, masterclasses. They're using this opportunity to educate people. They're bringing this to your doorstep. You can be at your home, comfort of your home, comfort of your office, and you can still learn. And I appreciate all of you guys taking some time to come on learning, because this is the time to learn. Sometimes you have to come out of your environment to pick up some great ideas. And those great ideas can come from other participants who are sharing, that can come from the speakers. And you're putting yourself in that environment, which will help you to think beyond your environment. And Ariva is making that happen.
Sir
So if you want to reinvest, sorry?
Sir Vishnu, we're also grateful to you for giving this opportunity to Ariva, for partnering with us and collaborating with us and giving this free business mentoring project to our Filipino participants. Thank you so much in behalf of Ariva Academy.
Thank you, thank you. And again, it's the partnership, right? We're trying to make this work as a team, and the people who are coming on and learning, because they want to do better as this pandemic finishes, right? This pandemic is temporary, but the changes it's bringing are permanent. And people want to learn, people want to upskill themselves, people want to upgrade themselves, so that not only they can survive, but also they can thrive and scale as they move into 2021. So these are the 5 action steps, whether you're a manager, you're a business owner, that I want you guys to think about, which will help you to reinvent your business. I want to talk about black box. Every business is getting some good results. Now the question is, how do we make good results into great results? So what's inside this black box that makes your company from producing good results to great results as you are coming out of this pandemic? So what's inside the black box? So I would like to invite everyone to share some of your thoughts. What's inside the black box that can make good results of your company into great results? So share your answers, please.
Okay, please type in your answers at the chat box now.
Resiliency, okay, yep.
Any other more questions? Creative innovations from Ms. Annabelle. Work, passion, excellence, and perseverance. From Ms. Jane. For me, Sir Vish, the grit. Okay, any other more answers? Persistency, not giving up attitude. Helenisa Hernandez. Thank you, ma'am. Dedication and commitment. Again, from Ms. Jane. Okay.
Great answers, right? All of them are valid.
Sustainability during the pandemic, from Ms. Mariana. Thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Yep.
Okay. Transparency, from Ms. Chana. From Ms. Jane again. Strategies, being innovative and creative.
Absolutely. So all of them are correct answers, right? So this is the question I always had, like, what can transform good results into great results? So what is in this black box? There are companies who get good results and then they go through this process in the black box that generates great results. And there's the 3 parts to this black box, right? There is a strategy part, there is technology part, and there is leadership part. As we are going through this pandemic, and as we start coming out of this pandemic, how do we thrive? Not just survive, how do we thrive? And how do we scale the business to the next level? How do we generate more revenue than ever before? How do we generate more opportunities for our people in our business than ever before? I think these three should be the core part of that black box. Strategy. What is the strategy that you're planning to use that helps you to survive, thrive, and scale? This can be part of the core competencies, how you're going to leverage those core competencies to generate revenue. The strategy can be hiring the right people. The strategy can be having the right positions for the right people. The strategies can be part of reflection, what we did right, what we did wrong, what can we do better. The strategy is how do we upskill, upgrade all the senior management and also our people in the company. What is the strategy that will help you to reinvent your business so that the business not only just survives, but it can thrive and scale? Think about the strategy. Talk about the strategy with your core people in your team. Discuss the strategy, get different opinions together, but have a strategy to thrive and to scale your results of your business. Next one. Take advantage of the technology. You got to take advantage of the technology. That means some of you are at an age like it's interesting, right? Everywhere you go now in Malaysia, you have to scan a QR code. You have to. If you don't scan the QR code and enter your details, you can't enter the shop. You cannot tell people like, oh, I'm 70 years old. I don't know how to scan a QR code. Sorry, ma'am, if you can't scan a QR code, you have to go to the next shop. You can't come into the shop. Take advantage of the technology. What is the technology that is out there that you can bring into your business that's going to help you to get great results? And the last one is leadership. It comes down to your leadership as the manager. It comes down to your leadership as a business owner. The most important key quality that I realized all the leaders, business owners should have during these uncertain times is managing uncertainty is key for business owners. You need to know how to manage the uncertainty that is ahead of you. Because we don't know. We don't know when the COVID cases will go down. We don't know. Is it August? Maybe. Is it Christmas? Maybe. What we know is it will go down. We just don't know when. So the times are uncertain. When will the transportation be fully back? Public transportation will be fully back in Philippines. We don't know. When we will travel to other provinces, okay, when can we fly to other countries? No one knows. So these are uncertain times. And as the leader of the business, as the leader of the company, as a manager, you need to know how to manage the uncertainty. And you got to take advantage of the technology and you got to work on the strategy that will help you to manage the uncertainty. It's really important. A lot of people wish when the times are certain, I exactly know what to do. Of course, not only you, everyone knows what to do when times are certain. We have to be strong enough to tell our people that the times ahead are uncertain. We should be strong enough to show our people that we are vulnerable. We don't know what's going to happen in next 2 months, 3 months. We don't know. You don't have to have all the answers and to be honest, no one has all the answers. Even governments don't have all the answers. They have so many great people, but still we don't have the answers. How do you then manage the uncertainty? That's the key as a business owner, as the manager. You have to be good at it. Yeah. So managing uncertainty is key now. And it's an important quality that you need to develop. And whatever the 5 action points that I've shared with you as managers and as business owners will really help you to manage the uncertainty and help you to move your business in the right direction. If you take advantage of the technology, if you put together the right strategy because you're upskilling and upgrading yourself. Keep in touch. More than happy to answer your questions. And that's from me today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Vishnu. We will now move on to our Q&A portion. But before that, well, thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. Thank you for the validations. Thank you for the inputs, the realizations that you presented. Thank you so much. And with that, before we move on to our Q&A portion, I would like to remind our participants, for Zoom participants, please type in your questions at the Q&A box. And if you want to ask your questions live, please click the raise hand button. And for our Facebook and YouTube live viewers, please type in your questions at the comment box. And now we will pause for a moment for a quick break, for coffee break, I think. And please stay tuned and we will be right back. Thank you.